name's Miranda and today I'm here to discuss the fantabulous one-shot of Critical Role that was Cinderbrush Monster's Heart 2. I really love the one-shots. I'm still kind of catching up on Critical Role, so I like the one-shots because you can watch them pretty much in one sitting. I mean, it takes me when one's like 5 hours, it takes me a day or two to get through it, but I like that you get the whole contained story in one go, and I actually get to be aware of everything that's happening as opposed to trying to catch up on things in campaign 1 and campaign 2. So I was really interested in this one shot when they announced it. I thought the whole premise sounded really interesting. I was kind of bummed though when they didn't have as many of the original cast members, like the OG Critical Role people in it. They just had Ashley and Taliesin, which is fine. It's just I feel like I love seeing the other Critical Role people step out and play new characters. Like, I find that really enjoyable. And I feel like the other thing too with only having 4 people play it, I was kind of worried because it's a small group, so it's like if you like it, it's good, but if you don't like it, there's not a lot of character, you know, like they're all kind of going to be interacting together. So I definitely had my reservations going into it, but was also very intrigued to see, I think we'll say the best way, and I was not at all prepared, I think, like a lot of us, for what we actually got. I loved it so much. It definitely bumped up to one of my favorite one-shots they've ever done, and I'm really hoping they'll do a sequel to it because I just think it was so interesting, and I think they just kind of brushed the surface of all they could do. I mean, they even talked about at the end how there were more powers they could have unlocked if they had more failures or stuff like that, and I am so intrigued. First of all, the 2 guest characters, Erica, amazing. I really liked her in the Call of Cthulhu one, even though I feel like she didn't get to do as much, or at least stand out, because there were so many characters in that one, which again is why one of the reasons that having only 4 people play can be so good or so bad. In this case, I feel like it was really good because it really let you dive into the emotional aspect of these characters and each of their relationships, which were obviously super important to one another and to the story in general. So I like having just this core 4. It made it feel more intimate, more special, and kind of the way it should. So I was really intrigued with Erica. She did such a fantabulous job. Like, I want her on pretty much every one-shot from now on. She completely owned the character of Sasha. She embodied what it means to be the queen in Monster Hearts, and I can only bow down and respect. She had so many good lines, and just the way she was always in character. She was twirling her hair when she wasn't talking or listening to someone. She was texting on her phone. Like, she just embodied the idea of it. And then the other new player, I believe their name is Allie, was so freaking good. They said it was their first time ever playing on the stream, obviously, but I don't know if it was their first time also playing D&D in general. But they did so freaking good. Af, honestly, like, I can't even say who my favorite character was because I start thinking about it and I'm like, oh, I love Sasha and I love Cam. But then I'm like, oh, but Af is just amazing. They were so witty and so on it and had the improvisation that you need to be a great D&D player. Like, all the stuff they were saying just made me, like, they just dove in and completely went for it, and that's what you need to do when you play D&D. If it's your first time or your 100th time, like, I love that they didn't seem overwhelmed at all. Like, they just rolled at it, and they probably were the one that made Matt break character the most and laugh as a DM, which is so impressive to me. Like, just so many good lines. Just, they went in with the idea of just like, I'ma do everything, and I loved it. And the fact that they were a werewolf too, I feel like Af as a character was so interesting. Down for anything, honestly. Like, down for this party, down for, ooh, we have a delivery. Down for making out when they were just like, hey, you want to make out to Jamie? Freaking amazing. And then I also love the classic line that will forever live in infamy when the whole reveal with Susie is coming out and she's saying like, I like power, like there's so much more than this little town, blah blah blah. And Af is just like, so you studied abroad, that doesn't mean you kill people. It was like, you went to Rome, bitch, congratulations, we get it. I was just in stitches by that point. I was like, Af is so good, and Allie as a player, freaking amazing. I hope they can come back for more, or at least for the main campaign, because I think they could do so many awesome things. Like, they were such an amazing player and just really rolled with the punches and really just went for it, but also like embodied their character. Like, I like there was a moment where they said that their character was so bloodthirsty that, like, yes, they would lash out violently or physically and stuff like that. I think it was the bathroom scene with Terrence when they were trying to confront him and everything, and everyone was kind of trying to figure it out, and Cameron just went to, like, disarm him, and then Af was like, no, I'm gonna lash out physically because that's what my character would do. I'm like, frick yes. I love it. I love that like they didn't try and teeter the story to any way. Like it was just very, very impressive. And then the story itself was so interesting, guys. I think they described at the end as Riverdale or CW High, and I feel like that is exactly what it was. It was insane craziness, and you can't even say it was CW High because now CW adds in like these supernatural elements. So I just loved the whole, it just felt so like, yes, CW drama, but also like high school, like the texting and the everyone, you know, whispering about what's going on and these secret parties and these relationships that everyone's kind of keeping tabs on. And Sasha and her whole hive was so like just so on it. And I loved how the mystery came out with Amanda disappearing. I knew she was going to disappear because I was like, this is not the kind of girl you bring to a party and not like have a buddy with her. So I knew something was going to happen, but like the way it happened, whew. And I loved that they banded together to figure this out, but then the more they did, like you could also see Sasha, I don't want to say unraveling, but not being in control of a situation, and how that kind of gave more depth and another angle to her character. And again, I think Erica played that character very, very well and that angle very well, because she was definitely like off kilter. And they kind of touched upon it briefly, but Erica never really truly dove deep into it. But there's something going on with like their parents and her future, and like she needs to get out of this town. She can't jeopardize herself or anything about her future that would get her out. So you can see that like this Amanda thing and these cultist things really spooked her. But I feel like once that mystery got in place, oh boy, it was amazing. Like the bathroom scene with Terrence, flippin' amazing. I loved just them confronting him, and of course it was Terrence after everything. And I just love the whole confrontation scene in the parking lot, the final standoff too, when they all kind of, except for Cam, I think, dove into their darkest selves. Af was freaking amazing. They just literally tore everything to shreds, and I loved every second of it. Jamie was just here for a good time, doing the best they could. And then Sasha, when she went into her true self and she just started laying on her about like, you're nothing, you'll never be anyone, like you'll never have true power, you'll never know what it means, you'll always be serving someone, and then she made her the broken condition, I was just like, it was in freaking tense, guys. And it wrapped up so quickly that like that's why I'm really hoping we could revisit these characters sometime, or even maybe add some new characters or something like that for another session. I just think it was amazing, and I have so many more answers. I could watch another 5 hours of them. Oh my gosh, when Sasha was telling Susie, when she was kind of trying to pretend, you know, that she was invested in it. She's like, yeah, I get it. I've always wanted that. I've been bigger than this town, and trying to trick her. And then she kicked her down the stairs and was like, go to therapy, bitch. I was like, Erica, take my whole heart. I love you, and I love Sasha. I think the character dynamic was really great too, and Matt had mentioned in the beginning that they had talked about their boundaries and what they were comfortable with as characters and as players, and you could really tell that because no one ever seemed uncomfortable. Everyone kind of seemed just like more amused or really in character. I personally really like Cam and Sasha. I think that's who I came out shipping the most, which was surprising to me. I just like how whenever Sasha would like try and be her most Sasha-esque, like seduce someone or like take them down, like Cam was just kind of watching and like so amused. Like when Sasha tried to turn the police officer on and she rolled a 13 and then Ashley was like, Cam was just watching from the garage, like, yeah. I was like, they are just so amazing. And I love how the whole end kind of insinuated there's gonna be an Af, Sasha, Cameron thing, because that's just like, I also like Af and Cameron. I think they're really cute together. So it's just very intriguing, but I also love how they played it. I like that Ashley was in this. I love when she's in one-shots because I feel like, you know, we haven't seen as much of Yasha, so I like getting to see Ashley kind of play other characters because she is so amazing. Like just the little things she adds to it, like when they were worried about Sasha rolling to see if she could send out that picture of Cam and I think it was Allison, I want to say, making out, and then the roll was unsuccessful. You could see Ashley go like, yes, like, whew. And I just really think there was like that whole kind of underlying moment of like, Ashley made sure to play when Sasha was doing something, she was reacting like Cameron would, and that was just really cute how you could see like how just in love Cameron was with Sasha, and just I think like amused by everything she does, and just like, yeah, this is my girlfriend even if they aren't still dating. And I just, Jamie rolling up on a motherfucking scooter looking at Amanda in the car and saying, oh, you're so tragic, is just like top tier Taliesin, and I don't know if we'll ever be able to beat that, guys. I really don't. So I think this story was just so interesting. I know Matt said he was new at it, so there were some things that were done wrong and stuff like that, but I mean, it's exposing people to a new type of D&D. I want to play it, definitely. I was reading all the different characters and skins you can play, and there's so many levels and so much to this that like they really have just brushed the surface, and I think they did an amazing job with the story and containing it so it didn't feel like there were too many loose ends. It all wrapped up quite nicely, and I feel like that whole end confrontation scene, like I said, was so friggin' amazing, with Af going full on wolf and then being like, sorry Kim, I need to hurt you to turn back to a human so I'm not a wolf when the cops show up. Sasha, like I said, going full on like queen and everything. It was just amazing. They really all committed, and I'm so like, this is peak D&D. This is what you want. Everyone's on their game. Everyone's down for it. They were all respectful and talked about what they wanted and what they were going to do, and it was just, I don't know, guys. It's definitely going to be one that I want to rewatch over and over and over again, and I really, really hope we get a sequel. Valentine's Day was like the perfect day to put it on, so maybe, I'm sure they had this in the works for a while, so fingers crossed it does well, and maybe we can revisit these characters, or like I said, I wouldn't even mind as much if it was like with a new cast of characters. I think that would be really interesting since there are so many different skins you can play. It'd be cool to see some other ones, but yeah, I definitely want to see these guys back in action in some form of way. So we'll see. For now, I just have fan fiction to read, right? But if you've seen this awesome one-shot, please feel free to leave your thoughts about it down below in the comments, what your favorite parts were, your favorite characters, what you loved, what you were like wanting to know more about. I just think this was awesome. This was so much better than I thought. Like, I was intrigued but unsure, and now after watching it, I'm like, this freaking rocks, and I love it. So if you have seen this, yeah, feel free to leave your thoughts about it down in the comments. Also, make sure this video got a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! Oh, is it Thursday yet?